All of you have that sparkle in your eyes. Well, this old man's not giving up either. Hello there, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we went to Jador and helped Realm defeat a corrupted painting, and then took a brief visit to the Fanatic's Tower to snap Strago out of his trance, thanks to the power of familial bonds. Today, we are going to be bringing them along for a little side adventure. Now, obviously, we have a few leads on where else we can go currently to find some new party members, but there's actually something I want to do first and foremost, and that's to go back to an old place that we haven't visited in a while, that we know to be abandoned here in the World of Ruin, and I want to go ahead and check that out. First things first, though, I did go ahead and equip Strago and Realm off-screen with the Behemoth suit, which is a very, very powerful suit. Now, remember, we had the Moogle and Tabby suit last time, and also the Chocobo suit originally, but look how different the stat boosts are. The Behemoth suit is insanely strong, and both of them can wear it. I also gave a circlet to Realm, so she's nearly matching Terra in terms of magical prowess. It's really only the Enhancer that's giving Terra the edge here. I also gave the Man-Eater to Realm. Give the little child a knife. She won't really see much use with it, but it's there. Anyway, let's go ahead and give the child the access to the airship. Again, I still don't think that's very safe, but either way, I don't exactly want to talk about this right now, but we do know there is a flying monster, just kind of, that looks like a bat that's flying around here in the overworld. This is exactly what it looks like. I would suggest avoiding that for right now. let's avoid that. Instead, I want to go ahead and go to the northernmost continent right here and head towards Narshe. It's been a while, and we know it to be abandoned, but let's go ahead and see inside. The only main reason why I'm bringing Terra along here is because of nostalgia. You know, this is where we first got to play around in the game, and Terra was our first main character. I think it makes sense for her to be here. Now, there's the adventuring school here, and there is something that I completely forgot to do before we went to the world of, before we ended the World of Balance, and that was to check out this final room right here. This is long overdue to check out the Advanced Battle Tactics room, but let's go ahead and talk about it. Undead creatures such as ghosts are damaged by curative spells. The main reason why I didn't want to go here is because it talks about magicites, and I didn't really want to indulge in that before we were ready to talk about them in more detail. The image status creates illusionary images of the character, making it difficult for them to hit. Fire, ice, and lightning are the three principal elements. Reflect spell. Allow me to explain a few specialized battle commands. Okay, this is kind of the big one. Runic. Trance. Dance and Rage. Re-raise automatically revives a character if they get KO'd. Regen gradually restores a character's HP. We do not have access to re-raise yet, but I'm sure we'll get that soon. Bushido techniques can be unleashed only after the required power for the skill in question has been built up. Now, normally that's shown off with a gauge, but in the Pixel Remaster version, it's not. It's just, you just wait a certain amount of time. Something about the Reflect spell. Reflect spells will not be reflected twice in a row. You can use this to advantage. You can cast Reflect on an ally, and then use Reflect on them, and hit back on the enemy, even if they have Reflect themselves. This is the big one right here. Desperate times can bring out strength you never even knew you had. Critically wounded characters may occasionally perform powerful hidden techniques when you select Attack. Now, the chances of you getting this special technique are very, very rare, and I will be sure to show them off at some point, but for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. But we're finally done with the adventuring school. Yay, all the tutorials are over and done with. So let's go ahead and start exploring Narshe. Haven't we met someplace before? Whatever. Nothing left in this town anyway, except for that one lousy Moogle. Doors are all locked, and you have to be some kind of treasure hunter to get them open. That's the lone wolf. That was the guy that had the gold hairpin that we saved Mog instead for. He talked about a treasure hunter. Well, I mean, unfortunately we don't have one in our party right now, but we'll keep that in mind. But yeah, the town is completely empty, with locked doors everywhere, and also some enemies for us to fight if I can turn on my encounters and see if we can get some. There's some Garm and Lucavis here. Let's go ahead and set up an auto battle. Because we're in the snowy climate, I think setting up a fire-based auto battle is probably for the best. I can also probably grab the gold hairpin from Celeste and give that to one of my magic casters. Got a level up right there for Terra, magic +2. Go ahead and swap around her espers real quick, because she's long done with the Zone of Seeker. I guess we can give her a Lakshmi? How close is she to working on Fenrir? Let's work on Lakshmi. There are a lot of new enemies here, and if we can somehow find Mog, we can also gain the snow-based dance somewhere around here, as this is one of the few, if only, places that you can actually get it. Go ahead and spam some fire magic. I don't have 2 earrings on Strago, but I think his damage output is fine. He's mostly going to be here for the healing. So we know where the Moogle Cave is, so it might be best if we just take that way towards the Moogles. So we need to head over by Arvis's house. It is a little weird. It's a little sad to think about where the Narshe citizens might have gone. We know that there was one Narshe soldier who went back to Culligan, but we don't know where everyone else went, if they're even still around. I mean, it doesn't seem like the Light of Judgment has destroyed Narshe, so it must just be that the Narshe citizens just abandoned the city in fear of Kefka's wrath, potentially. There's a test rider. I don't know. I don't know the full answer to this, but you can find Narshe citizens spread out across the world all over the place where they've kind of gone to flee, but it still doesn't really answer the question of, like, why exactly why did people leave this place? Inside of the Narshe mines, there are a few new enemies, mostly enemies that would have appeared at the Magitek Research Facility, like, well, not the wizards, they weren't there. But there are some enemies here that that are familiar, and there are also some new enemies. Fallen Footsteps right there will turn one of your party members into a zombie. Unfortunately, hit someone that I was just about to act on. There's the Man-Eater. Wow, okay, Realm is proving me wrong on viability of the Man-Eater right there. Okay, we're having a bit of a family feud in here. This is not good. The wizards are definitely not making this easy on us. Terra's about to lose a lot of our MP. He's also stopped, so I can't even use her in combat. Yeah, this is definitely not ideal. Can I please remove his Terra, please? Please? Very soon. Or we can just end the fight right there, that's fine too. Alright, let's keep moving forward. That was definitely not an ideal fight, but that's okay. We can head down into this room right here. Actually... yeah, this room right here. We can go ahead and turn off the counters real quick. I don't want to worry about those wizards again. There are still a few enemies here, but we'll worry about them later. First, let's go ahead and head into the Moogle area right here. Hey, Mog! Koopo! I'd thought you all died, Koopo. I'm so glad you're alive, Koopo. I'll help you fight, Koopo. I bet the Yeti'll come along too. He'll be a big help, Koopo. He can be a little wild though, Koopo. He should be here in the mines somewhere. He'll help us if I order him to. Let's look for him, Koopo. This was the main reason why I came in here with 3 party members instead of 4, because we're going to need Mog, my main man Mog. Let's go ahead and equip him with some good stuff. The Golden Spear should be pretty good. He can also equip the Aegis, Thunder, Ice Shields, like he's got all that stuff. I think let's give him the Aegis Shield. And then in terms of armor, I think let's give him the Gaia gear. The circlet seems viable, but let's go ahead and give him the circlet so that he can use that extra strength. And then we'll give him the Hyper Wrist, because I am going to turn him into my Dragoon right now, and we'll go ahead and see how that works out. So give me the Dragoon boots. There we go. Nice. Put him in the back row. All right. And then let's give him an Esper to level up with. He doesn't really need a lot of magic, but let's give him something simple, like Seraph, I guess, so we can learn Pure? I mean, there's not really any reason for him, but let's give him Seraph. Why not? Whenever he levels up, whenever he's close to leveling up, I'll give him Bismarck. We can interact with this place right next to where Mog was to give us the Malulu's Charm. If you're playing on any version that isn't the Pixel Remaster, this is a very useful ability. This is a Mog unique relic, a mysterious Moogle charm for Mog. Prevents all random encounters. This is really good when exploring dungeons that you've already done before or just want to get through it without much issue. Bring Mog along and equip that charm. Or just push in on the right trigger. For me, I'm using a controller, so I just do that and encounters are immediately off. This treasure chest right here is also one that I left alone when we were in the World of Balance. Originally, it would give you a rune blade, but if you wait until the World of Ruin, it'll give you a ribbon, which is a very powerful very powerful relic that we've seen before and I've used a little bit, so we already know the extent of its strengths. Either way, though, we're going to go ahead and head on through the mines here. I think it would actually be best if we go another way. So, I'm going to move around back to the main area of Narshe. Alrighty, we're back here on the main area. I went ahead and went back to that healing bucket in the adventuring school to max everyone's stats out. And we're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to be heading towards the area where we defended the Esper with Bannon, as that'll be probably our best area for trying to find some this Yeti that Mog's talking about. Speaking of Mog, let's go ahead and have him jump. And then we're going to wait. I don't want to see how much damage he does. We'll have, I guess... Alright, 1300 damage isn't bad. It's definitely more consistent than him just flubbing up dances over and over and over again. So we're going to be trying to just have him consistently jump around. I do need a stronger spear for him, as the golden spear and his strength stat right now isn't all that impressive. But I'll be working on that as we progress through the game, so Mog can start pulling his own weight. Magna Rotors, awesome. 2 versions of the Magna Rotors. They do pretty decent damage, but nothing we can't handle. Oh, right, Strago is still on his zombie auto battle. There we go, and she's doing a single target fire. I don't like that. I don't think these enemies are going to last another attack, but okay, yeah, cool. There we go. I guess I could probably give Strago a second earring. I was giving him the Hermes sandals here so he could move faster, but let's go ahead and give him a second earring. Why not? And then we'll need to top up Realm here, so let's use Mog's magic, as he does have access to curing magic for this very specific purpose, because he's not going to need it. So he can top people up now. Let's move through. I think there's only one more enemy in the Narshe mines that I need to worry about. Either way, though, we still have a little bit of walking to go. So I'm sure we can find it. Let's go ahead and set up a Fire AoE, and then we can just move on through. Alright, we learned a lot of spells there as well. Realm and Strago are at the exact same EXP, which is not only very cute and very accurate, as they are family, but it also means I need to be very careful about who I give Zona Seeker and who I give Maduine, because I don't have multiple Espers that give magic +2, so I'll need to be careful about that. Well, not yet, at least. Okay. They're getting fairly close, but I don't think I need to worry about it just yet. Let's go ahead and turn off encounters, actually. Move up here. Now, there is an enemy up here that I want to point out. Oh, yeah, it's right there. This dragon. This is an ice dragon. I would say avoid this thing for right now. It isn't too dangerous, but I don't want to mess with it right now. Instead, I'm going to go over here, grab this thing, and save real quick. Alright, I went ahead and gave Mog the Zona Seeker Magicite, as we're going to need its effects once again. This is where the Esper is. I don't really see a cave, but let's go ahead and interact with it anyways. And we're fighting a battle against Valigarmonda. We gotta prove our worth, I guess. I would suggest going ahead and casting Zona Seeker here, just to make this a bit easier on ourselves. I guess while we're at it, we can go ahead and try out Traveler. And then let's cast Fire, and I guess we can also cast another Fire. We can have Mog play support here. There's Traveler, does a pretty decent amount of damage based on our game time. Our movement speed. The game time actually determines how expensive it is. Fire right there is very strong, as Valigarmonda is very, very weak to it. So we should be able to deal, yeah, almost max damage without any issue. He likes to cast Rasp, but thankfully that isn't really all that dangerous, as we have a boatload of MP that we can just kind of go through. The freeze is very annoying, but thankfully we brought a lot of magic damage dealers and we don't need to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and just keep with the healing, and we can just auto-battle this. I think Realm could probably take on Valigarmonda herself, as she's almost equal to Terra in terms of magic damage potency. Yeah, there we go. There isn't really much to this fight. Just equip the Zona Seeker Magicite, cast its spell, and then just go ham with fire magic. And there we go, we got a lot of new abilities, and Mog learned his final dance, the Snowman Rondo. So, humans broke my seal of ice. Humans who possess Magicite. Just who are you? I suppose that's of little consequence. But what of this devastation that fills the air? Could the War of the Magi have lasted 1,000 years? That foolish unending war. You would seek to put an end to it. Then I shall put my trust in you. The Esper that started it all. Valigarmonda. And we also got an entry to the edge of the cliff. Also, really, really beautiful sprite work here. I love it so much. Anyway, we do have a new Magicite. In fact, it's a very, very important one. Valigarmonda. When cast, will use Try Disaster. Hits all enemies with fire, ice, and lightning. Valigarmonda will teach the user Firaga, Blizzaga, and Thundaga, and at level up will give you Magic +2. Awesome, awesome Magicite right here. This is absolutely going to immediately go on to Terra, as we want to learn this powerful magic as soon as humanly possible. Actually, let's give it to Realm right now, as she's very close to leveling up. We can give Terra back Lakshmi. Strago, let's give him Zona Seeker. And then Mog, let's give him... that's Realm. Let's give Mog Bismarck? Actually, he's pretty far from leveling up, so we'll give him... we'll work on Seraph still. Either way, though, that's a very, very powerful Magicite. I'm gonna go back and heal. As we aren't done just yet, Valigarmonda opened the way for us to go somewhere, and I think it's best if we go ahead and try to find this stupid Yeti. There's an opening in the cliff. Hop into it. Let's go. This leads us to another entirely different dungeon, the Yeti's Cave. There are a few things here that are different from just standard Narshe mines, including new enemies, new music, and a few new areas. We've got 3 entries here. We have 2 staircases. Let's go ahead and take the leftmost one. Or I guess not. So we're gonna go to the basement too. This is a bit of a bigger area. There is a treasure chest here for us. Let's go ahead and check it out. There's also some new enemies here, including the Naughties. Let's go ahead and try out... We cannot dance because I just got imped. That's stupid. I was not paying attention to what ability they just used there. Go ahead and set up Fyra anyways. We're doing some very strong magic damage. Mog learned regen. We also got a green cherry to cleanse that imp if we need to, which I think we should. Green cherry. It is nice that the enemies drop the cure to their ailment. There's the gauntlet. So, it has taken this long for us to get the relic that we would have gotten if we had said yes to helping Vanin with the Returner's movement. The Gauntlet is a steel hand and forearm guard used by knights, allows one weapon to be held with both hands. This will increase your attack power by quite a bit, but it will also make it to where you can't equip a shield, or dual wield. So there's a bit of risk and reward to it. I am not going to worry about that. The Genji Glove is such a better relic to get at that point in the game. The Gauntlet's really not worth it right now. We're going to go ahead and see if we can cast some good magic. I want to deal with the Naughties before they can turn us all into imps, since I don't really have that many green cherries. There we go, get magic +2 on both of the family members right there. Increasing their magic by quite a bit. Yeah, she's at 67, which is still, like, right on Terra's tail right there. So it's good. She's only at 4% for the AP bonuses. Terra's almost at a level up, though, so let's go ahead and give her Valley Garmonda. I'm gonna try and get both of them, all of these spells before I'm done here. Let's give Quetzali to the Realm. Zona Seeker, let's give Sprago Lakshmi, I guess. And then I think, yeah, Mog's finished with Seraph. Let's give him Fenrir so he can learn Teleport, I guess. Alright, so let's go ahead and go this way. It seems to be an exit of some kind. Yeti's Cave, Basement 1. Yeah, this brings us back to this area. Ooh, there's 2 buttons here, though. Hello. Oh! Me and my big mouth. Okay, I'm not gonna fall for that trick. Instead, we're gonna push this other button. Okay, well, I may not be the most sensible individual, but hey, we have something right here. I guess we can go check it out. What's with this carving? Looks like a bone. Is that thing stuck in its eye a magicite? Remove the magicite from the eye of the bone carving? Sure, why not? It's magicite. Obtain the Midgard Zormer magicite. I think that's our Yeti. Yep, that's our Yeti. This Yeti is very powerful in terms of physical attacks. Honestly, the main game plan here is to just hit it hard with fire magic. It'll go down pretty quickly. Just have someone ready to heal the party constantly, which will be Mog in this case, and just spam fire magic until it goes down. There's not really much of a strategy here. We're just gonna auto battle and see where this takes us. There's a green cherry right there, which will buff the Yeti's attack power by quite a bit, and it also increases its defense. Again, not really all that much to do here other than just spam attacks. Also, it does get access to a regen, but again, as long as we just constantly spam magic damage, there really won't be much for the Yeti to do here. We have such high magic defense and magic attack power that even with Shell equipped on it, it won't be doing enough damage to us, and it won't be healing enough in order to deal with how much damage we're throwing at it. Avalanche right there is its strongest magic attack, but again, it goes down without much issue. 20 gil, not even any AP, man. Oi, I'm your boss, Kupo. You're gonna join us, Kupo. A Yeti with a love for bone carvings, stronger than a Gigas, but a bit unruly. This Yeti's name is Umaro. Funnily enough, not our final party member. Umaro was actually also supposed to be a character that was in the World of Balance, but that was changed pretty early into development. Ooh, me Umaro. Yes, boss. Me join you. Umaro, no slouching, Kupo. Ooh, me wait, big flying ship. How do you know about our ship? You know what? I'm just gonna assume that Umaru's a psychic and move on with that. Umaru is an interesting character. And actually, real quick, before we leave, I do want to do something. Now, I don't think I can actually leave this area, which is a tad unfortunate, because there are still a few things I want to do here in the Yeti's cave. So I'm gonna have to loop back around and see you back inside. Okay, that's a bit of a drop. Now, I actually did go ahead and went back to the Falcon to grab Umaro, as while I make my way back to the Yeti's cave, I actually want to go ahead and talk about Umaro in a little bit more detail. He's a pretty simple character, but I think we should go ahead and knock it out right now. It's been a while since we've had a new character to talk about, and Umaro is definitely worth discussing, as he is vastly different from anyone else in the cast. It's best to first talk about his stats, as he does actually have a pretty decent showing here, especially in his strength. But while this is fine and dandy, Umaro does have a few major quirks that make him stand out amongst the rest, for better or for worse. First, Umaro cannot equip weapons or armor, always being outfitted with his Bone Club and Snow Scarf. This makes raising his defenses or granting elemental and status immunities quite difficult, but thankfully you can still give the Yeti some relics. And in terms of relics, Umaro does have a few unique ones like the Berserker Ring and Blizzard Orb, and while the Orb isn't really all that useful, the Berserker Ring can still find some good use out of Umaro, giving him some new moves in combat. Equipping other relics like the Hyper Wrist, Gigas Glove, or Hero's Ring also does the trick in boosting Umaro enough to pull his weight in combat. Though there is one more major difference about Umaro that really hurts him. He cannot equip Espers or learn magic. This really limits how you can play with Umaro, since he'll be stuck using the same basic moves over and over again, while not allowing you to use him to strategize with a party. No support or magic attacks to fall back on, no raise or cure spells to aid injured teammates, just a few basic attacks and a dream. So, because of this, generally speaking, you're going to want to build Umaro to be very strength-focused and deal very powerful physical attacks. If this very simple playstyle interests you, then go right ahead. But Umaro doesn't really do it for me, honestly. But now let's quickly move on to the third thing that sets Umaro apart from the rest, in that of his special ability, Berserk. Now, this is technically called Rage, but for the sake of keeping Gao and Umaro's abilities separate from each other and not being called the same name, I will be calling Umaro's ability Berserk. Now, Berserk is actually activated as soon as combat begins, rendering you incapable of issuing Umaro commands for the entire fight. Under the effect of Berserk, Umaro will use one of two moves, and up to 4 if the Berserker Ring and or Blizzard Orb are equipped. These moves are a basic attack, and a physical attack named Tackle, with another physical attack named Throw Ally being added on if the Berserk Ring is equipped, and an ice spell named Snowstorm if the Blizzard Orb is equipped. Because everything Umaro does is mostly random, it can be actually quite difficult to rely on him to deal consistent damage, or to even just function like a normal party member, as he generally lacks the synergy that every other team member brings to the party. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that Umaro isn't without his uses, as he can still deal respectable damage with very little setup needed, and his automation means you only really need to manage 3 other active party members during combat, lessening the potential stress of active battles. But this still doesn't really get rid of the fact that Umaro is a fairly late-game character that lacks any real form of customization, leaving him in a weird limbo spot in the party lineup. If he's a character that interests you, then you absolutely have the means to use him well. Just be ready to have other teammates pick up where he falls very, very short. Alright, back in the Yeti's cave, for one, Umaro is a pretty standard character, and honestly, I won't be using him all too much. There's a very specific niche I have for him, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But I wanted to go ahead and bring him along so he can show us the rest of his cave. On this other side of the cave, there is a lot more treasure for us to look at. In fact, these 2 treasure chests right here that I want to go ahead and grab. An X-Ether, and of course a Pitfall, because of course. That drops us on the lower area of the basement too. That allows us to walk up here. Yeah, it allows us to walk up here, which in turn will allow us to walk through this corridor. As soon as I'm done being an idiot and just walk over to this left area by the entrance, avoiding the pitfalls, we get to the treasure chest. I would highly suggest bringing Zonaseeker along, because of course, it's a monster in a box. This is a very dangerous set of enemies, 3 Tonberries. They'll slowly inch towards you, dealing a lot of magic and physical damage. Immediately apply Zonaseeker, have a dedicated healer, and I would suggest using Terra to trance and slinging as many fire spells as you can. Every single time they inch forward, they'll do a very powerful physical or magical attack. So I would suggest throwing Zonaseeker on, having a dedicated healer or healers, and then just using Terra or any other powerful magic or physical damage dealer to deal with these guys as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, the trance is taking a little while. We're going to have Realm go on healing duty as well, as these guys will constantly spam Holy and physical attacks, so just be ready to heal. They're going to do a lot of damage to you. Just be prepared. It's going to be a lot. Umaro is going to be kind of on autopilot, and he missed his attack right there. Thankfully, the Cura is going to help us out here. I really hope I can get a Transfire off. If you decide to go and grab your Firaga from Valley Gormanda, you can as well. They do counter magic attacks with Holy, but again, if we have the Zona Seeker and everything, this shouldn't be that much of an issue, because we can just constantly heal our team, throw very powerful fire magic at them, and this should be over pretty quickly. That's the hope, at least. If Terra can please get at least one more off, I would be very happy, because she is just constantly getting interrupted by multiple attacks. That was probably the last one she's going to be able to get off while she's in her transform, which is okay. She'll still be doing some pretty good damage. This is just kind of the auto battle we're having here. Hopefully Umaro can at least pick off one or two of them with his physical attacks, because he does do some pretty decent damage. Unfortunately, there's not really much we can do in terms of gear, because, again, he's very limited in that department. Maybe? Hey, one of them's down. Nice. All right, so they're all pretty close to being dead. Two more Firas, well, one for each should be enough to take them down. Nope, that one stays alive. That's okay. We can just... maybe Umaro can bash it and take it down? Come on, Umaro. Come on. Show me that you're actually worth something. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Alright, Fyra. Awesome. It's definitely a tricky fight. We get a lot of AP for it, though. And the Minerva Bustier. But that's all the treasure here in the Yeti's Cave. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Minerva Bustier. A defense... Oh, God, it's a lot of extra stats. And a breastplate that blocks damage from multiple elements. And provides a 25% bonus to maximum MP. This is a very, very, very nice chest piece. Let's go ahead and give it to Terra for right now. I might change this depending on who's in my party, but there we go. Anyways, I'll see you back at the Falcon. Alrighty, and with that, I think that's a pretty good stopping point for today. We got two new party members, one being completely brand new, and one being a nice returning fan favorite of mine. And we also got to grab some pretty good loot and see what's going on in Narshe, which is honestly not anything good. Next time on Final Fantasy VI, I think we will finally be following up on all of the information we have on a certain treasure hunter, because I really don't think we can really do much without him from this point onward. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.